Ohio State has such a nationwide pool that allows them to get players from just about anywhere in the country, although traditionally Ohio State has heavily recruited the state of Ohio. The Cleveland area in particular has been very kind to the Buckeyes throughout history. One school has stood head and shoulders above everyone else throughout the 2000s. That school was Cleveland Glenville High School. Glenville is a public high school that was established in 1892 that serves the Glenville area in Cleveland, which can be known as a bit of a rough part of Cleveland that is plagued with poverty and crime. The Glenville High School football team, however, has represented an escape from all that. From 2002 to 2014, Glenville sent a staggering 21 players to Ohio State. Glenville's longtime football coach, Ted Ginn Sr., who, yes, is the father of Ohio State great and longtime NFL player Ted Ginn Jr., Glenn Sr. built an absolute powerhouse at Glenville. Once again, Glenville is a public school in inner city Cleveland. Glenville gets the players from their area. They cannot recruit kids across the city. They get what they have. Not to mention the fact that Glenville surely has nearby powerhouse Catholic schools, such as Cleveland St. Ignatius and St. Edward, trying to pry Glenville's top players from them consistently. This just makes it all the more remarkable what Glenville was able to do. The first Cleveland Glenville alum to play at Ohio State is surely a guy that you've heard of. That guy was future Heisman Trophy winner Troy Smith. Troy Smith had a lot more of an interesting Ohio State career than I think a lot of people know. He redshirted in 2002 when Ohio State won the national championship. In 2003, Smith served as a running back and kick returner. Smith then battled Justin Zwick throughout the 2004 season for the starting quarterback before Smith was able to state his claim as Ohio State's quarterback by the ending of the season. In his first year as a full-time starter in 2005, Troy Smith threw for 2,282 yards and 16 touchdowns, while also rushing for 722 yards and 11 touchdowns. Smith's 2005 season was capped with a 24-21 come-from-behind victory over arch-rival Michigan and victory over Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl that catapulted his 2006 Heisman Trophy campaign. The 2006 season was prolific for Smith as he won the Heisman Trophy, Walter Camp Award, Davey O'Brien Award, Associated Press Player of the Year, and was unanimous All-American while leading the Buckeyes to a 12-2 record. Smith's game never transitioned to a strong NFL career, but he certainly left his mark for the Buckeyes. Ohio State's second Cleveland Glenville alum was Darius Hilly. Hilly's sole season with the Buckeyes was in 2003. He was an academic casualty in 2004 and never played football again afterwards. Despite his lack of success at Ohio State, Hilly is looked at as one of the founders of the Glenville dynasty. In the same recruiting class of 2003 as Hilly was another former Glenville star turned Ohio State star, Dante Whitner. Whitner served as a backup in 2003 and split time as a starter in 2004 with Tyler Everett. Whitner exploded in 2005 as his first and only year as a full-time starter, recording 73 tackles as a safety. He went on to get drafted 8th overall in the 2006 NFL Draft by the Buffalo Bills. Whitner would spend 11 seasons in the NFL, including 2 Pro Bowl appearances, one in 2012 with the San Francisco 49ers and one in 2014 with the hometown Cleveland Browns. While in the NFL, Whitner built up a reputation as one of the hardest hitting safeties in the league. The following recruiting class in 2004 also saw 2 Glenville alums suited for the Buckeyes, the first of which was linebacker Curtis Terry. Terry recorded 26 career tackles and notably started the famed 2006 Ohio State-Michigan game. His career was derailed by ankle and foot injuries that cost him the whole 2007 season. Ohio State's other 2004 signee out of Glenville was none other than the coach's son, Ted Ginn Jr. Ginn is the second highest rated recruit to sign with Ohio State in the recruiting era, according to 24/7 Sports, behind only Terrell Pryor. Ginn's 24/7 profile had him listed as a cornerback. Ironically, he never played cornerback by his high school. Ginn played wide receiver and was used as a returner throughout his Ohio State career, and went on to become one of the most explosive and exciting players in Ohio State history. Ginn earned playing time as a freshman in 2004, recording 25 receptions for 359 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ginn also served as the team's primary punt returner and returned 4 punts for a touchdown this season, which broke a Big Ten record that had stood since 1947. 2005 saw Ginn's receiving numbers go up, recording 25 receptions for 803 yards and 4 touchdowns, while being one piece of one of Ohio State's best receiving trios in school history, combining with Santonio Holmes and Anthony Gonzalez. As a junior in 2006, Ginn recorded 59 catches for 781 yards and 9 touchdowns. getting declared for the NFL draft following his season, finishing his career as a 3-time All-American and the Big Ten's career leader in punt returns for a touchdown with 6. Getting got drafted 9th overall in the 2007 NFL draft by the Miami Dolphins, has bounced around a lot, but remains in the NFL with the Chicago Bears for the upcoming season. In the class of 2005, Ohio State's second highest rated recruit, 5-star cornerback Jamario O'Neal, came out of Glenville. O'Neal was never able to quite live up to his 5-star billing. He did, however, put up a solid career, recording 49 career tackles. Second highest rated recruit in the class of 2006 was another Glenville alum whose career didn't meet expectations. That player was Robert Rose. Rose recorded 31 career tackles and 6 sacks throughout his career, and did manage to make a very brief active appearance with the Miami Dolphins of the NFL in the 2010 season. In addition to Rose, the Buckeyes also signed Brian Browning in the class of 2006. Browning's career worked out a little differently. Browning was a starting offensive lineman in 2008, 2009, and 2010. He was even the captain in 2010, while also receiving academic All-Big Ten honors in 2007, 2008, and 2009. Browning went on to play in the NFL, being on the active roster of the Carolina Panthers in 2011 and the Cleveland Browns in 2012. Wide receiver Ray Small joined Rose and Browning as the class of 2006 Glenville graduates to attend Ohio State. Small was a clearly very talented player, but his time at Ohio State was plagued with off-the-field issues. Small did, however, manage to record 61 receptions for 659 yards and 3 touchdowns throughout his career, and was the Buckeyes' main punt returner in 2007, 2008, and 2009. The following recruiting class in 2007 saw Glenville send safety Jamel Hines to Ohio State. Hines started the 2009 and 2010 seasons, finishing 4th on the team in tackles with 57 in 2009 and 3rd in 2010 with 66. Hines finished his Ohio State career with 155 tackles as a first-team All-Big Ten honoree in 2010 as a senior. Hines got drafted in the 5th round of the 2011 NFL Draft by the St. Louis Rams, spent 2 seasons in the NFL between the Rams, Indianapolis Colts, and Carolina Panthers. The next Glenville player to go to Ohio State was Jamel Martin in 2009. Martin's stay at Ohio State was brief, as he spent 1 season with the Buckeyes before transferring out and now really finding success on the football field elsewhere. Much like Martin, Jonathan Newsom's Ohio State career was brief. Newsom came to Ohio State in 2009 and played sparingly that year. In 2010, he played in all 13 games, recording 15 tackles as a defensive end. He elected to transfer to Ball State following the season, where he was able to put together a nice career, receiving first-team All-MAC honors following the 2013 season, getting selected in the 5th round of the 2014 NFL Draft by the Indianapolis Colts and spending 2 seasons with them. Currently, he plays with the BC Lions of the CFL. The next Glenville alum to suit up for the Buckeyes was Marcus Hall. He's probably more well-known at this point for this photo. Despite this being his legacy for a lot of Ohio State fans, Hall was a 2-year starter along the offensive line for the Buckeyes, starting in 2012 and 2013, with the 2013 unit in particular being known as one of the best in the nation at the time. Hall never got a shot in the NFL, but I think his career at Ohio State was way more than that single photo a lot of people associate with him. In the class of 2010, Christian Bryant came from Glenville to Ohio State. Bryant originally came to Ohio State as a quarterback, but switched to safety as a freshman in 2010. Bryant played a bit as a freshman in 2010, but a third issue sidelined him for 5 games. He went on to play in 12 games in 2011, starting 9 games, finishing 3rd on the team in tackles with 68. Bryant became a full-time starter in 2012, finishing 2nd on the team with 71 tackles, finishing only behind Ryan Shazier. Bryant was geared up to have a big senior season in 2013, but suffered a leg injury 5 games into the season, ending his Buckeye career. Bryant got drafted in the 7th round of the 2014 NFL Draft by the St. Louis Rams, but was never quite able to find his footing in the NFL, recording only 5 career tackles. In the 2012 recruiting class, Ohio State managed to pick up Devin Bogart out of Glenville. Bogart suffered 3 torn ACLs throughout his career. Bogart never became a full-time starter, but throughout his career, he became a special team standout, which I would say is pretty good given all the injuries he suffered throughout his career. Some guy named Cardell Jones originally signed with Ohio State out of Glenville in the class of 2011, but spent a postgraduate year at Folk Union Military Academy and arrived at Ohio State in 2012. Jones is definitely one of the more beloved recent Buckeyes. I think most of us know his epic story by now. He spent 2012 and 2013 as a backup, while spending most of 2014 as a backup. Coming into the 2014 season, he was slated to be Ohio State's third-string quarterback. That is, until Baxter Miller got hurt in the preseason and JT Barrett got hurt in the regular season finale against Michigan. Jones was destined to be an Ohio State starting quarterback, starting his first game in the Big Ten Championship game against Wisconsin, followed by the College Football Playoff semifinals against Alabama and the National Championship game against Oregon, leading the Buckeyes to a victory in all three games on their way to a national championship while throwing for 742 yards and 5 touchdowns in the 3 games. Jones returned to Ohio State for his junior season in a highly anticipated battle for the starting quarterback spot with JT Barrett. Jones wound up beating Barrett for the starting spot in the opening game against Virginia Tech. Jones started the next few games before Barrett was able to retake the starting spot for the rest of the season. Following the season, Jones declared for the 2016 NFL Draft, getting selected in the 4th round by the Buffalo Bills. Jones split his time in the NFL between the Bills and the Los Angeles Chargers, but never really got a shot before finding himself outside the NFL. Recently, Jones put in a good showing with the DC Defenders of the XFL before the rest of the regular season was canceled due to coronavirus. I somehow doubt Cardell Jones is done with football yet. In the class of 2013, Ohio State brought in Chris Worley from Glenville. Worley redshirted in 2013 and spent 2014-2015 as a backup and special teams player. Worley started at linebacker in 2016, recording 70 tackles, finishing 4th on the team. He returned to start his senior year in 2017, finishing 5th in tackles with 56. Worley went undrafted in the 2018 NFL Draft, made a brief appearance in the league with the Cincinnati Bengals in 2018. The last recruiting class that saw Cleveland Glenville players sign with Ohio State saw a trio of players sign with the Buckeyes in the class of 2014. The first of which was offensive lineman Marcellus Jones. Jones' Ohio State career never worked out, and he transferred out after 1 season. He transferred to Kentucky, but was dismissed before ever playing a game with them, and kind of fell off in the football world from there. The second of which was safety Eric Smith. Smith played in 33 games throughout his career, recording 73 tackles and interception before his career wrapped up. He never played in the NFL. The last of the trio is a guy that everyone has heard of, Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore struggled with injuries throughout the beginning part of his Ohio State career. He finally managed to break through in his 3rd year in the program, 2016, becoming a first-team All-Big Ten player, getting selected in the 1st round, 11th overall of the 2017 NFL Draft by the New Orleans Saints, where he's one of the top young quarterbacks in the NFL right now. All in all, Glenville produced 15 players who started at Ohio State at one point, 2 starting quarterbacks, one of which won the Heisman, and the other of which quarterbacked the Buckeyes to a national championship, 8 future NFL draft picks, 3 of which went in the 1st round. Even the guys who never had flashy careers at Ohio State still did the improbable. They played at Ohio State, a dream so many kids not only across the state of Ohio, but across the nation have. One school sending 20 players to Ohio State in roughly a 13-year period is insane, especially when the school is an inner-city public school in Cleveland. The impact that Glenville has had at Ohio State won't soon go away. Glenville will forever be known as one of the top talent feeders to Ohio State.